What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Wide receiver and return specialist Tyreek Hill agrees to a contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 years, $54 million, $35 million guaranteed. Last season, Tyreek Hill had a real breakout season, man. He had 87 receptions for 1,479 yards and 12 touchdowns. The third-year player out of West Alabama, and my Keith Jackson voice really came into his own as he was at West Alabama. Before there, he was at Oklahoma State as he had a lot of problems in college, a lot of domestic issues in college as he pled guilty to choking and punching his girlfriend in 2016. So he had a lot of issues. That's what dropped his draft stock, ended up going in the 5th round. And as you know, 5th round picks don't make as much money as 1st round picks, 2nd round, 3rd or 4th round picks. So he finally got his money. As you know, in the offseason, there's an audio came out with him and his girlfriend was discussing injuries to their child. And he told his girlfriend that you need to be terrified of me too. And then said an explicit word towards her after that. So he was suspended from off-season programs and things of that nature as the NFL and investigators investigated it. I guess they satisfied the investigation that he did nothing wrong, and they didn't suspend him. So he came to training camp, made a brief statement on that situation, and it was pretty much swept under the rug, man. And now he's got a extension here. He's a integral part of the Kansas City Chiefs offense, man. Probably him and along with Kelsey is probably Mahomes' main go-to guys when the game is on the line and in critical situation, critical downs. You know, I guess he looks when he looks for a first down, maybe 3rd and 5, he's looking to Travis Kelsey. But if he's looking for a big play down the field to change the momentum of the game or to pretty much put the knife in the opponent's back, he's looking at Tyreek Hill, man. And Tyreek Hill has came with big plays and made those plays time in and time out. So Andy Reid and the general manager showed a lot of faith in him going to him. Now Kansas City Chiefs are the betting favorite. I think they're 6-1 favorites in Las Vegas to win the Super Bowl, just ahead of the New England Patriots. They are the team to beat in the AFC. You know, New England Patriots are dealing with wide receiver issues as even though they lost one of their big wide receivers and tight end, Rob Gronkowski. They're gonna miss him. He's a tight end. I'm gonna say when you saying wide receiver, Gronk is a tight end, but he's basically a tight end. He's a wide receiver and a tight end body, man. That guy's got one of the best hands ever as far as tight ends. He's probably right there with Kellen Winslow as far as the best hands of a tight end, along with what's the other boy? Along with the tight end with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons that just went into the Hall of Fame. Got great hands. They're gonna miss him. Edelman's coming back up, and I think he's been dealing with some few nagging injuries. Their 1st round pick, Earl, I believe, is out. They've got Demaryius Thomas there. They've got Josh Gordon over there, bringing him back. He didn't show a lot of separation last year, but he is a big target, so maybe he can take some of those plays using his body and size like they did with Gronk, especially around the goal line. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. That's probably the 2 top teams in the AFC. You know, I got other teams that I think are right there. The Houston Texans, the picks they made, the players they brought in, the left tackle, the backup running back, the J.J. Watt coming back fully healthy as last year he was coming off an injury. I think he's usually they say that 2nd season is really when you really show out. As he had a Pro Bowl season last year. You got him, you got Deshaun Watson, you've got D-Hop, and you've got those receivers to go along with him. They should be right there too, man. Houston and Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I really like. I like Jackson and that Ingram in the backfield. I like their defense. I just like their overall organization. They always draft well. Their defenses always seem to be strong. They lost Suggs and a couple other players, Mosley, but they seem to always draft well. Their defense should be solid along with Jackson, Ingram, and I like the wide receiver they picked up out of Oklahoma. Should be a deep threat down the field. So I like Baltimore too. So, but going back to Kansas City, as I deviate away from this video, man, as far as Tyreek Hill, he's the most dynamic player, one of the most dynamic players in the NFL, and he makes the impact in two different ways, on offense and special teams. Many people don't want to talk about special teams, but if you look at offense, defense, and special teams, the team that wins 2 of those three battles, 95% chance they win that game. It doesn't matter if it's special teams or defense, or if it's offense or special teams, or if it's offense and defense. If you win 2 of those 3 positions, you win the game. So special team is an integral part of the game, and he helps twofold with the kick returns, punt returns, and wide receiver. So he is a dynamic player, arguably the fastest player in the NFL. And it's a good pickup. Just got to hope he hold it together off the field. Like I said, he's had 2 public domestic issues in college. Like I said, he pled guilty to choking and punching his girlfriend. And then this offseason, with him and his then girlfriend, I don't know if they're still together. The girlfriend, they had a domestic problem that got picked up on audio. And again, they were discussing the injuries of their son, and he told the lady on the audio that you need to be terrified of me too. And he called her an explicit word towards her. So the NFL investigated. Kansas City Chiefs suspended him, and they did an investigation. The NFL, the investigators, and and probably Kansas City Chiefs, they probably did their own independent investigator along with in coherence with NFL, and they investigated that. The Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL, probably collaborated to investigate the situation, and local authorities that whether audio and the incident took place, they investigated, and they came to they didn't say he was innocent or he was guilty, but they didn't have enough evidence to go forward with it. So the charges were not brought against Tyreek Evans, and NFL says we don't have any evidence, so we're not gonna suspend him. And that was kind of surprised a lot of people, because there's a lot of players that got suspended on hearsay, basically on stuff that came out. He said, she said situation. They didn't wait till they didn't wait till the investigations were completed. They came in with a ruling and suspended players previously. But I think Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, has probably got widely criticized doing that. Coming down with punishment before the investigation was completed, i.e. Ezekiel Elliott, when he gave him a 6-game suspension and he hadn't been convicted of anything, and they were still in the process of trying to get to the bottom of his situation, what was going on with his indiscretions, as he was on a boat, I think, with somebody, and they said he allegedly pulled the lady's top up, and they said that was, they said the lady, she laughed it off, she didn't take offense to it, but it was still inappropriate. Anyway, no matter, she didn't ask you to do that, you don't do that. You just don't go ahead and take liberties upon a woman. But they took that and previous alleged indiscretions by Ezekiel Elliott and gave him a 6-game suspension. They said he had a problem in Ohio State with his girl that had something to do with his girlfriend, and she got into it with one of his other ladies that he was involved with, and they got into it, and it was a whole lot of big mess that the Ohio State police looked at, and they didn't come with any charges as they investigated. They didn't go through with any charges, but they had all that against Ezekiel Elliott and suspended him for 6 games. So a lot of people thought that Goodell, even though they didn't have a full understanding of exactly what did take place, or who. All we know is the child had injuries. I think the child might have had got hit in the chest or something, in the stomach or something like that. And they didn't know who did that. Was it her or was it him? Yeah, all that need to be investigated. They did that, and but it was a lot of that stuff was already out there. Alleging that Tyreek Hill was involved in that, and Goodell did not suspend him. He waited till the investigation play out. They didn't find anything, and they let Tyreek Hill come back into the NFL, and they never suspended him. They never suspended him. He never was at the NFL. All he was away from the team. The team told him not to come to the facility, and they suspended him from off-season program. That was the Kansas City Chiefs, not the NFL. And the NFL stepped in after the investigation, after looking at the facts, and they decided not to suspend Tyreek Hill, and he was welcomed back into the Kansas City Chiefs organization. He was there for a training camp. So that's what it is. Just hopefully all this stuff is in Tyreek Hill's rearview mirror, And hopefully he won't get in any more trouble. Hopefully he'll show good faith in the Kansas City Chiefs organization, because they have shown good faith in him, giving him this huge contract extension. And that's a lot of money, especially for a 5th-round pick who didn't have a big contract starting off as a 5th-round pick. So he didn't have, like I said, he didn't have the picks. He didn't have 1st-round pick money where he was making millions, multi-millions in his first contract. So this is his first real big contract, and we'll see how it plays out on and off the field. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.